The Supercar Challenge is powered by Pirelli, Syntex Innovative Lubricants, Autosportinsurance.com, Spa05.com and Fitzner Performance Gearboxes. Hello and welcome to the Supercar Challenge powered by Pirelli. We're at Brands Hatch in Kent for round 4 of the Superlights divisions. And we head to Spa Francorchamps for round 7 for the Super Sport and Sport classes. The historic 2.5-mile Grand Prix circuit of Brands Hatch, just south of the capital London, bathed in beautiful late summer conditions for the 7th and 8th race for the sports prototypes in the Superlights division, both races on the same day. And a newcomer on pole, Daniel Gibson's Gibson GH19, a Honda-powered CM prototype he shares with Tom Bradshaw. He starts pole on the front row of the grid with Cocopion alongside the reigning champions Radical SR3, twice a winner this year, but he's only third in the Group 3 standings after problems with some of the other races. Lining up third, another SR3, Rick van Geffen, and of course the UK is Radical's home. Carlo Kaya in the Praga R1, he's second in the Group 3 standings, 9 points behind the championship leader. And the championship leader is Wiebe Rademacher, fifth, slightly disappointing qualifying. Well, Wiebe Rademacher also with 2 race wins this season as they get the rolling start. On board with Rademacher, and he has Denny van Dongen's Praga alongside. You can see the green car of Carlo Kaya. Waiting for the lights to change. Oh my goodness, now was that a jump start? Denny van Dongen absolutely flew by in the white Praga. Up the inside comes the Norma as well. Henk Tace behind us at the moment, but losing places. Wiebe Rademacher up to Druids. There is Daniel Gibson, the race leader. There around the outside is Henk Tace, looking for, 4th place, 5th place battle there. And he's in front of the Norma and in front of us. Rademacher down into 8th position. Tace goes through into Graham Hill Bend, gets in front of Carlo Kaya. So he and Denny van Dongen both making good starts. Van Dongen with the Martini stripes. He's having a look into Surtees. Then Henk Tace, Carlo Kaya with the green highlights and the blue Norma. And Wiebe Rademacher on the back of that train. Championship leader watching his rivals get away. There is Gibson the leader. Here's Cocopion with the red and yellow highlights and a move for third into Hawthorne Bend. Henk Tace up the inside. That's a good pass and through as well. Denny van Dongen. He got by Rick van Geffen, I'm sure. On the inside he did. So van Dongen up to 4th place. Well, Rademacher doing well to remember that going off on the opening lap isn't going to earn him any points, but doesn't want to let his rivals get too much closer in the championship by accelerating away in front of him. Well, with the red and yellow highlights, Cocopion third in the points. This is good news for him, good news for Henk Tace as well, and for Denny van Dongen. They're all gaining on Cocopion. 2 laps in, safety car is out. Problems for championship organiser Dick van Elk. He's having a one-off drive in this Praga. He and the car look okay, but they did need to get towed out of the gravel. Daniel Gibson with it all to do again at the restart in the Gibson GH19. Then Henk Tace in second. Cocopion behind him in third with the yellow and red highlights. Then Denny van Dongen, the white Praga, the Norma. Under pressure, David Hotoff from Wiebe Rademacher. Had a look around the outside at Druids. Didn't get through. But always important to try and take advantage of a restart. That's what Henk Tace is doing in second place, pulling away fast. There's Denny van Dongen, Rick van Geffen, then Carlo Kaya, second in the championship. David Hotoft in that open blue Norma. And we're right behind him with Wiebe Rademacher, the championship leader. Through the Clark curve, onto the Brabham straight. He's got a good run going here, hasn't he? Yes, he really has, as the Norma drifts a little wide. Through he goes on the inside. Incisive move. Letting his tyres come up to temperature, attacks immediately. Shortly afterwards, Hotoft in the pits, the team looking at what they think is a faulty sensor on the Honda engine, and that means he is out of the race, no chance to continue for him. Lead battle, Henk Tace chasing Daniel Gibson. The Radical SR8 of Henk Tace, 430 horsepower, 680 kilos. The Gibson with its Honda engine, 225 horsepower, but only 430 kilos, run by a team of students from the northeast of England. And at the moment it looks as though the nimble Gibson has the advantage. Daniel Gibson still in the lead in the British-built car as he brings it in to hand over to Tom Bradshaw.
The Radical's a V8 with a lot of horsepower. We've only got about 250 horsepower, but we've got a lot of aero. So it's kind of a trade-off of grip and power, and the regulations for us are the Honda 2 litre, and we can't really do a lot to the engine, so he's got a bit of advantage out on the long straights. But by the looks of things, my teammate's doing a good job out there to keep in front, so I can't complain at the minute.
Tom Bradshaw takes over the lead in Group 2. Kokapyan, the leader in the Group 3 class, and there he is with the Gibson right behind him. Gibson eventually again asserts its upper hand over the Radical, claiming victory in race 1 at Brands Hatch.
We've done quite a lot of work with the setup, and we've had a damper change as well, so we've changed a few of the suspension components. Everybody's worked really hard at Gibson Motorsport, so I'd like to say a big thank you to them as well. Yeah, it's been spot on.
Race order in Group 3, the reverse of the championship standings. Kokapyan, the race leader, heading on his way to win number 3 of the season, but he'll still be nearly 20 points behind. Carlo Kaya, second place, very consistent season now, just 7 points behind the standings leader, who's Wiebo Rademacher, his black car under pressure from Robert Haub, taking over from Danny Van Dongen. A lunge there could have had Rademacher off. Haub, however, spins helplessly and no damage done as Kapjan takes win number 3 of the season. Really good pace from the start, he said. Loving this place, never been here before, but it's got great high-speed corners out the back. That's perfect for the SR3. It's been going really well. Free practice qualifying, the car's been great. Nothing to complain about. Superb result. Third place Wiebo Rademacher still leads the standings, but he'll have to do better in race 2 to hang on. Daniel Gibson pacing the field for the start of race 2. We are in 5th place with Wiebo Rademacher. Kokapyan on the outside, the front row, alongside. That's Robert Haub. Now he's driving that Martini car on his own in this race because Denny Van Dongen's gone back into the Praga that Dick Van Elk drove in race 1. Waiting for the lights to change, everybody getting very anxious. Carlo Kaya on the high side of the racetrack with a green nose in the Praga. Very quickly around the outside of Rick Van Geffen, and so too is Wiebo Rademacher. Doesn't want to let the guys in front get away too quickly. He's through into 4th out of Paddock Hill Bend. So it's Gibson that leads, then Kapjan, then Kaya, then Rademacher, the top 3 in the championship in reverse order. Coming down Graham Hill Bend. Henk Tace in the black car at the back there goes by Denny Van Dongen. He's up behind Robert Haub. And you see the yellow Ocella of Heinz Kramer at the back of the field, and Henk Tace with that V8 power squirts by Haub as well on the Cooper Straight and into Surtees Bend. His next target will be David Hotoft in the Norma. Daniel Gibson pulling away in the lead from Kokapyan. Carlo Kaya 3rd in the Praga, then 4th place. No longer Wiebo Rademacher. Henk Tace already up to 4th in the SR8. There's Rademacher. There is Rick Van Geffen. Then the blue car, David Hotoft. Then Robert Haub and Denny Van Dongen in their Praga R1s. Before too long, Kokapyan running away with this and seemingly heading to race win number 4 of the season. It's either win it or retire for that team this year. Carlo Kaya in 2nd, Wiebo Rademacher in 3rd. Again, the championship leader at the back of the lead trio. And then Rick Van Geffen ahead of Robert Haub, but dropping back with mechanical problems, Denny Van Dongen. Rademacher under pressure now from Rick Van Geffen as they come out of Dingledale and through Sheen Curve. Praga is right there behind them as well, through clearways. Oh, running out very wide. Rick Van Geffen flirting with disaster in the gravel trap. Through goes Haub. Takes advantage in the Praga, and he moves up to 5th place. In the closed Praga, the Open Radical looks so different. They got the same 210 horsepower and roughly the same weight, 570 for the Radical, 590 kilos for the Praga. Praga with a bit more aerodynamics as well, perhaps. Very different looking cars though. Robert Haub now on the attack, looking into the inside at Surtees. Wiebo Rademacher holds the racing line though, and that's going to cost Haub on the exit. Long run up to Hawthorne Bend. Van Geffen already alongside and on the racing line as they come up to Hawthorne. Through he goes, retaking 5th position. That leaves him hot on the heels of Wiebo Rademacher, desperate to try and make another move, but Rademacher equally desperate not to give away any more positions or points, and he clings on tenaciously. It's win number 2 for the Gibson Motorsport team. Daniel Gibson, Tom Bradshaw and the Gibson GH19 victorious in Group 2 over Henk Thijs and James Abbott. Kokopjan winning again in Group 3 from Carlo Kaya, and Wibo Rademacher finally hanging on to third in the class at the flag. So a great result again for the Gibson Motorsport team, Daniel Gibson and Tom Bradshaw and their team of students running the car. Group 3, Kokopjan, win number 4 of the season, now just 13 points behind the leader Wibo Rademacher. Carlo Kaya, second place, now just 5 points adrift. They head into the finale at Assen in the Netherlands. But after the break, we'll take a look at round 7 of the Supersport and Sport divisions from Spa Francorchamps. The Supercar Challenge is powered by Pirelli, Syntex Innovative Lubricants, Autosportinsurance.com, Spa05.com and Fitzner Performance Gearboxes. Round 7 of the Supercar Challenge powered by Pirelli at the awesome Spa Francorchamps. Last time out, we showed you the GT divisions. After clean runs so far, it all went wrong for the title race leaders. And their closest rivals also struggled. Just goes to show that in motorsport, the only certainty is that nothing is certain. And that applies just as much to the sport classes as to the GT divisions. Koreuser leads the Supersport Championship with his Lotus Evora GT4. He's on pole for race 1, 20 points ahead of closest rivals Koen Boekhorst and Mark van der Aar. They're second on the grid for race 1, but they've got pole for race 2 as well in their ex-World Touring Car Championship 3 Series, which is now fitted with a 6-cylinder BMW M3 motor. Ready for the rolling start with Erik van der Munkhoff starting in 6th place. Third on the rear, Dennis de Groot, the white BMW, and alongside him is Huub del Nooy in that orange and green Lotus. He's moved up to Supersport. Werner van Herk's blue Mazda, 5th alongside us. Don't forget we're on a massive grid of 60 cars with the GT, Super GT and GTB in front. And that means that for these guys, the race is going to start when the front runners get to the lights. And here we go. Well, good start from the BMW. That's Tristan Boersma. The white Seat behind us was Charlie Friens as well. They've gone either side of Erik van der Munkhoff. Boersma's got the inside line. Friens might have to give a position away. Van der Munkhoff gets his car around the outside, but Boersma has gone through. It looks like Koen Boekhorst in the BMW has grabbed the lead of the race. Looking back from Koreuser, there you can see Werner van Herk in the blue Mazda slipstreaming up to 3rd in the class. He's gone by Dennis de Groot. And running up the hill, the Mazda right behind us. Up this long Kemmel straight, but a 3.5 litre V6 in the Lotus Evora GT4 despite giving away the toe. Look, he's creeping away. Wow, that's some speed from the Lotus. On board with the championship leader, now in amongst the slowest of the GT classes. See the Porsche in front, Werner van Herk behind, looking down the inside into the double left-hander at Pujol. Good move. Gets straight by the Lotus. The Porsche drifts a little wide out of the way, so they won't have to worry about him until maybe he comes steaming by them up the hill somewhere. Well, rushing up towards the bus stop, hard on the brakes there is Werner van Herk, right in front Koen Boekhorst, and again GT cars in the way. Oh, great opportunity for Oyster, and he takes it. He goes from 3rd to 1st. Boekhorst really slowed in the BMW, drops to 3rd. Long, fast Spa circuit really suiting this BMW M3. Koen Boekhorst all over Werner van Herk. This for 2nd place. The Lotus just in front. He's got a little run going down the inside into Stavelot. And I'm afraid Van Herk can't defend that this time. Through goes the BMW. Well, Van Herk is soon to drop out of the race, and that leaves Dennis de Groot in 3rd place. But look at this. Again, looking back from Koreuser. This shows how hard Koen Boekhorst is trying. Looking to go around the outside into the braking area at the bus stop. Then has to cut back and defend 2nd spot from Dennis de Groot in that white BMW. 25 seconds in results penalties drop Koreuser down to 5th. The race winners then, Dennis de Groot and teammate for the weekend Bas Schouten ahead of Boekhorst, van der Aar and van der Munkhoff in 3rd. In the sport divisions, Morris and Wesley Carranza have pole for both races. They lie third in the championship. They're leading at the end of the race when they get balked. And through goes Erwin van Dijk, the championship leader in the Lotus Aziz. But also Martin de Klein, Dennis de Boer's teammate, moves up into second place. And then in the bus stop, gets a run on the Lotus. Well, they're second in the championship, and getting by the points leader is a vital pass. Then ensues a long battle with the Carranzas for the victory. They take win number 4 of the season and end up just 6 points behind championship leader Erwin van Dijk. Pace was really good, says Martin de Klein. The car was fantastic. The Clio's a little shy on horsepower here, but I was still able to work my way forward. Had some really good battles with the Carranzas, Van Dijk, swapped places all over the place. At the finish line, I managed to grab the win. Really good race, and especially, he said, very fair. Well, it's dry and sunny for race 1. Of course it's wet at Spa for race 2. With Koen Boekarts on pole ahead of Korreuser. There is the pink BMW as we get into the bus stop among the GTB tail-enders. Huub Del Nooi's Lotus lies third, Werner van Herk fourth in the Mazda. There they are. Very slippery indeed. Look at the Mazda getting sideways. Dennis de Groot and the BMW just in front of us. Erik van der Munkhoff being cautious here at the start, and rightly so. Could all go so wrong, especially down here at La Source. He looks to the inside line, cautious on the brakes. There's a Porsche right in front, and you can see Koen Boekarts and Korreuser battling for the lead. Van der Munkhoff tucks in behind Dennis de Groot, and the blue Mazda just in front of Werner van Herk. Behind Tristan Boersma and Charlie Friens there in the Seat Leon. Boersma looking to go around the outside. Well, in any weather, that's a brave move into Eau Rouge. But he gets held up by that Porsche. That's an ex-Daytona 24 Hours car. Guest driver driving that. Not used to the car or the conditions, I don't think. So that allows Van der Munkhoff to get a good run up the hill and escape the attack from Tristan Boersma. Again through the GTB cars. And there is Dennis de Groot. Got a good run on him and just blowing by him up the hill. Into the braking area for Lecombe, right in front, Koen Boekarts, the white BMW. Look, the blue Mazda goes through. Werner van Herk taking third place. Fourth place for Boekarts. He tries to fight back on the exit. We're in amongst the GTB runners. Yellow and blue Porsche, that's Dirk Schultz, another guest driver. More power, but they can't use it in these conditions. There's Dennis de Groot right behind us. Lotus is 1-2 in the class. Oh, and de Groot being passed around the outside by the other BMW. That's Tristan Boersma. So our race 1 winner struggling for grip now as he drops down the order. Van der Munkhoff. As you see, Werner van Herk getting sideways in the blue Mazda right in front. And Koen Boekarts piling on the pressure from fourth place. At the bus stop, there's the black car. Korreuser leads. Koen Boekarts second. Van Herk in third. The second Lotus Del Nooy is in fourth place. And then Van der Munkhoff in fifth position. Battle for 6. Dennis de Groot on the outside. Michael Verhagen's 1 Series comes through, and in Piff Paff there's contact. Shortly afterwards, de Groot in the pits, not because of the damage, but because of a chronic misfire, eventually traced to a broken alternator. But that means he'll finish 15 laps down. No points at all for the man third in the title race. Now we know why Dennis de Groot was losing ground early on. That's good news though for Erik van der Munkhoff, fourth in the championship. He will close the gap to de Groot. But out of Radillon, too much curb, loops it around in the wet. No major damage, but does lose places. He finishes fourth in Supersport though. Korreuser leading the race in the gloom. Werner van Herk back up to second as the battle with Koen Boekarts and the pink and white BMW rages on. Korreuser loses a few places in the pits because of 15 result seconds, but not to Koen Boekarts and Mark van der Aar. Van der Aar right behind, makes contact there. They had 10 result seconds after finishing second in race 1. And Korreuser dropping back. He changed to slicks at the pit stop, so a little gamble that hasn't worked too well. The track not drying maybe fast enough, but he might not be too disappointed. He'll end up with 0 result seconds for the season finale in Assen. Win number 2 of the season for Werner van Herk, and win number 2 in Belgium, having scored victory in Zolder as well. With Huub Del Nooy second and the Boekarts and Van der Aar BMW in third. And this win feels extra good after Van Herk dropped out of race 1. And he says,
Ja, gisteren hadden we het geweten.
Well, if we'd known what the problem was yesterday, we'd have kept the engine running in the pit stop and probably finished the race without any problems. When I turned the engine off, the temperature went sky high and the fuel system pumped fuel through to try and cool the engine down. And then when we fired it up again, massive flames came out the back. I didn't see what happened, but the guys who were pushing got burned by this massive fireball. So winning today feels good for the whole team. If we can finish a race, normally we're on the podium, so basically it's win or retire for us. Well, Koolrooijse finished 6th, but still leads the championship. Kumbo Kart's Mark van der Aar and Dennis de Groot are in the hunt, but now Erik van der Munkhoff is out of the equation. Sport class pole sitter Moritz Carranza loses the lead to Dennis de Borst. Leonard Protosov in 3rd place. Evan van Dijk down in 6th position early on. And the slippery conditions aren't going to do them any favours either. Braking for Les Combes, Leonard Protosov and Moritz Carranza battling for 2nd place. Carranza in the 1 Series and the Ukrainian right behind him in that 3 Series. Well, Evan van Dijk finding progress very difficult. Lotus driver stuck behind Rob Neiman in the yellow and orange Clio, who won't make his life easier after being taken off at the Nürburgring. After the pit stops, Martin de Klein takes over, but he has to deal with 10 seconds more than Erwin van Dijk, 20 more than the Carranza nephews, and 40 more than the other Clio drivers. So de Klein passes Rob Neiman for 3rd place at Les Combes, and then attacks Protasov for 2nd place. Treacherous conditions under braking down here into Piff Paff. You can see he's scrabbling for grip, but he manages to get by the BMW. Nice move. With 30 results seconds, Evan van Dijk drops back to 7th, where he stays. The Lotus and the driver not happy with the slippery conditions. Wesley Carranza, though, crosses the line as the leader despite a 20-second advantage. After the pit stops, they win it by just 3 seconds over Martin de Klein and Dennis de Borst. The race closing right up at the end. Well, Wesley saying the track was drying slowly, but it was drying, and that was a good thing because we lost a lot of time with understeer in the wet. A steering rod was bent as well, so that really didn't help us. But I noticed that on the dry patches we had more grip at the front, and that got rid of the understeer. So near the end we had some good times, but we lost a lot of time at the beginning. Good race all the same. Well, the new leaders in the sport class, Dennis de Borst and Martin de Klein from Erwin van Dijk, with the Carranzas still in the hunt as they head to the final round at Assen. And that is it for Spa Francorchamps. Next time out, we'll talk about the GT classes at Assen, and the sport division will also finish up their season, joined by the Superlights at the grand season finale. Until then, it's goodbye for now. The Supercar Challenge is powered by Pirelli, Syntex Innovative Lubricants, Autosportinsurance.com, Spa05.com and Fitzner Performance Gearboxes.